the whole design of the program to be transdisciplinary. That is to say, all the courses are cutting across the disciplinary boundaries. And that means that both students and often faculty are pushed out of their comfort zone. It's not a particular discipline or a field, but it's a combination of ideas from a variety of fields, but ideas that stimulate, that help you think, and think differently than you have before. And we combine that with multiple methods of analysis. So each student has to do both a conceptual piece of research, a conceptual paper, initially where all the relevant literature is reviewed, and that when we force students to look at literature from a variety of fields. So it's not just one disciplinary perspective, and therefore you bring in new ideas through that. And then through the process, you do first a qualitative study using qualitative methodology, interview techniques, and analysis of qualitative data. And using a grounded theory approach, which basically means letting the respondents drive the findings. So it's not your preconceived notion that necessarily gets support. And that's how new ideas come forward in that stage. And then in the third phase of the research, students gather quantitative data and use quantitative analysis to affirm the findings in the previous studies. And that way they come up with new ideas, new approaches, and I think that's basically how we sustain the transdisciplinary research. By taking this transdisciplinary approach and using multiple methods of analysis, we encourage students to do really transformational work, work that can expand the boundaries of a particular problem from different perspectives, and also bring experience from a variety of backgrounds together. Given that the students do have a long professional career behind them, and so they have practical experience to draw into the analysis. Through the interaction with students, you as a professor learn something, because you get different ways of approaching issues and different ways of perhaps stating the issues, and that's intellectually stimulating. But it's the character of the people also. They come from all different parts of the world. They engage with us in serious research efforts, and there's learning all the way around. That's exciting. And to have people in the classroom interacting on readings that they have done, that each has a different perspective on, sharing those ideas, there's real fundamental learning that takes place in that environment. And that's exciting. That's the most exciting experience you can have in the educational effort. And I do believe that this is the most exciting program we have at Case Western Reserve University. The Doctor of Management program is continually evolving. When we started it back in 1995, it was an experiment. And it turned out very successful, created a lot of excitement. There were some hurdles, of course, getting faculty involvement and support and institutional support and so forth. Once we got it launched, we have updated our courses, our methodology, our whole curriculum every year. And that's been an exciting experience in itself, because it helps not only us but the whole school really think about what the education is all about. And bringing the experience of people from a variety of backgrounds into the classroom and dealing with issues is exciting. And so As a result of that, and the extraordinary faculty we have in this program, world-class scholars who are very good in the classroom also, engaging with students, means that in the meetings that we have as faculty, we can talk about ideas, not necessarily about problems, about administration, about the course that I teach in the program is called Business as a Dynamic System. And that course has evolved from every year. There's new literature because the world we live in simply changes. It's a dynamic, evolutionary, non-ergodic world, if you want to use a fancy word. It's exciting when people have defined that issue and they have done the literature review, they've found the gaps in the literature, they're beginning to address that, and then they write their qualitative and then their quantitative paper. And they present those papers at conferences, and they go to the Academy of Management, where we have been very well represented the last several years, with more students presenting than any other doctoral program in the world, and see how well they are received and how well they can hold their own ground in the analysis, whether it be qualitative or quantitative or both. You can see the transformation that people go through in that process. And it's a wonderful thing to see.